1, 2, 1, 2. Y'all put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me once you come in. Okay. 1 in the chat, 1 in the chat. If y'all can hear me. What's up? Hey, sweetheart. Alexis, Tyler, what's going on? What's going on, my queen? I know, Lively, I know. So, Alexis, I've been hitting you up like the last couple of times, and I've been like, hey, my queen, whatever, and you haven't been answering. I'm like, okay, what did I do that I don't know about? Because you've been like totally ignoring me like the last 6 months. So I don't know what that's about. I'm like, did I do something wrong? Lively, what's up? MMP, what up? Lauren London. Now, what's up, Ginger? I've been warning y'all. I've been warning y'all, right? For a couple of years about Lauren London. Lauren London didn't say anything, but we're going to get into it. Alexis will tell you that I bought this Lauren London thing up close to 3 years ago, around before Nipsey passed away. Now, I told y'all when Lauren London and Nipsey used to get into their little breaks, because you know they used to break up and take little breaks and what have you, right? When Lauren London and Nipsey used to get in their little breaks, whose house do you think she used to go stay at? She used to go stay with Cassie and Puffy. Whenever they would get into their little arguments, she would go run to Puffy. I told y'all that when Nipsey was still alive. So you know it's no lie. Right? So, she used to have her kids hang out with Diddy. Used to have her kids hang out with the twins. And then there's about 4 or 5 pictures that she had Diddy removed from the internet. It's hard to find these pictures. There's only like a couple of them left, but there was one where he was like kissing on her neck. They were both in white. And he was like almost kissing on her neck. So that's the reason why after Nipsey passed away, remember he did that Woman Crush Wednesday? And he put Lauren London as his Woman Crush Wednesday? And had a picture of them in white? And he had like a blue heart? And then she went to him and was like, take that picture down. So now Capricorn Clark, she calls herself Lauren London's half-sister. I don't know if they're really blood related. I don't think they are. But she calls herself her half-sister. Or stepsister, what have you. But Capricorn Clark was able to pretty much get immunity for all the shit she did. And she's not going to have to pay a price for it. as well as the other assistant. And I'm sure Mia is Christina Coram. Because if Capricorn Clark got subpoenaed, I know Christina Coram got subpoenaed. So if 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 Capricorn got subpoenaed, I know Christina Coram got, and she's probably Mia. What's up, sexy 60? Do I mean Cassie? No, 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 no. Capricorn Clark claims to be Lauren London's half sister, but I don't think she's really her half sister. Alexis would probably know better than anybody. I don't believe she's her real half sister, but she used to say Lauren London was her half sister. No, Foxworth Bentley did not. So now let me tell you about the Lauren London and Diddy situation. Because I was smack right in the middle of it. Because as I told everybody, I filmed 5 Diddy parties. I was hired to film 5 Diddy parties. 3 was in Miami. 1 was in New York City, and 1 was in the Hamptons, right? What I had to do was film those parties, and at the end of the night, give him the footage, and he'd pay me. So I filmed 5 parties for Diddy. I never had any issue with getting my money. He gave me my money every time, right? After that, it was give him the footage. He gives me my money, and he pretty much, what he let us do was, at that time we're running Block TV, so he said you can pretty much get any interview with any of the celebrities you want for your platform, but you cannot air my footage. I need my footage at the end of the night. So that was the deal that we had worked out. So that's why when you see on when I put up my videos of Nas and Busta Rhymes, and that was at Diddy's party in Miami, right? He also, if y'all remember, I put up a picture on my No BS channel of me and Gina. Now, Gina is the one who did the interview with Tasha K. I have a picture with Gina because Puffy, on our last party, said, "Did a good job, Playboy. This concludes our little venture. You know, look around, pick who you want." And I said, "Huh?" He said, "Pick who you want." And I said, "Pick who I want for what?" I didn't know what he was talking about. And he said, "You see all these fine women around here? Who you want?" So there was this black chick that looked like a young Shaka Khan. She was walking around. She had the frizzy hair. Hair was like reddish blonde, brown or whatever. And I said, "Oh, I want her." So this must have been one of his little side chicks or something, because he said, "No, no, 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 pick somebody else." This is a black girl, right? She looked like Shaka Khan, except 30, 40 years younger, right? So then he said, "Pick somebody else." So I saw the Asian chick, Gina. I was like, "What about her?" So he called her over and was like, "Yeah, show him some love. This is they did a good job, blah, 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 blah," right? Show him some love, right? So she came over there. I took a picture with her first. She was like, let's go hang out. We going to the party or whatever. We drinking, chilling, whatever. So a couple of hours pass. I'm ready to bounce. She said, so you bring me back in the morning? I said, excuse me? She said, are you bringing me back in the morning? I said, oh, you leaving with me? Listen, I'm totally oblivious to what's going on because, like I said, everything else was just, okay, he give me the money, that was it. She said, Puffy said, take care of you. Boom. We left out. I brought it back in the morning. All right. Now, I had no idea until I saw her on Tasha K. I'm like, wait a minute. That looks like the chick from that night. But at this point, it's been close to 10 years. But I got the picture up. I'm going to put my picture up back in my community tab so y'all can see the picture of me and Gina. Now, she is, from what I hear, victim 3. The one that ain't showing up. But I say this to say, everybody was pretty much a willing participant. And the whole thing with Lauren London is that there was some weird dynamic going on. If you even look at that picture, it's like, okay, Nipsey and Lauren are a couple. But then you got Diddy. Usually you'll put the woman in the middle. But you got Diddy in the middle. Nipsey like got his arm around Diddy. And Diddy's is up on Lauren London. I'm like, okay, that's a weird picture. That's a weird picture. But again, I always thought that Lauren London, I always told y'all that Lauren London was messing with Diddy. She was most definitely messing with Diddy. All of those pictures are gone of them in the white. There's only like 1 or 2 tame ones. But they had some provocative ones in the white where he was kissing on her neck on one of them. There was another one like where she was like standing like behind him, like with her arms wrapped around the lower part of his waist. Now, I know Whack 100 is going around saying he's seen Nipsey Nipsey GAY tapes. I don't subscribe to that because I'm one of the people who, if I didn't see it or if somebody very trustworthy didn't tell me, I'm not going to say it's a fact. So I'm not going to say, even though he can sit and promise and say this and that, Whack 100 to me does not come off as credible. So I'm not going to believe him saying, because he is supposed to have been exposed Nipsey's GAY tapes and he ain't exposed one yet. So for far as I'm concerned, that's not true. Right? That's not true. Now, Lauren London, I can speak for myself because I was around during that era. One of the parties that I filmed for Puffy, Lauren London was there with Cassie. I mean, so I always knew she was hanging around Puff. And that's how, Nipsey knew of Puff, but Lauren London really connected him to Puff. He knew he had met him before. But Lauren London was the really connection because she was always hanging out with Cassie, right? Yeah, I mean the freak off is I mean it just doesn't even make sense. After for everybody asking me about freak offs, you really haven't watched the trial, I'm gonna assume. Because anybody that's watched this trial will know all that freak off stuff was cap. That's just another word for him and Cassie's little secret rendezvous. This had nothing to do with any celebrities. It had nothing to do with any mind. This is all sex workers, male sex workers, and Cassie. Have you heard them mention anybody else? All of that stuff that the government threw out there was to get everybody listening to the case and to muddy up the jury pool. All that stuff about, remember how everybody was laughing, $1,000 of baby oil, $1,000 of baby oil. Nobody even talking about what they asked that woman. They asked that woman, how many bottles of baby oil did you find? What did she say? What did she say? How come nobody's saying, wait a minute, I thought you said it was 1,000? I thought you said it was 1,000. The lady said she 25 bottles. 25 bottles. But nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. But they threw that 1,000 out there just to make it salacious. So everybody can say, oh my God, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What was he doing with 1,000 bottles of baby oil? And like I said before, it don't matter if they found $2,000 baby oil. If the baby oil isn't drugged, which it wasn't, another lie that the government told and the media hopped on it and told it. If the baby oil wasn't drugged, what the hell do you care if I got 1,000 bottles of baby oil or 2,000 bottles of baby oil? What the hell do you care? That's not illegal. I could have 1,000 bottles of baby oil, 1,000 bottles of Astro Glide, 50 jars of Vaseline. It ain't none of your damn business. 50 jars of Crisco oil. As long as it's not illegal, what the hell are you reporting it for? Right? But, so what is he going to be charged with? I believe that Capricorn Clark sealed his fate for the RICO, and I'll tell you why. They're going to probably get him on the kidnapping, right? Kidnapping is a part of RICO. You only got to come up with two things that was done 10 years apart. So they're going to get him on the kidnapping. They're going to get him on the prostitution because of the sex workers, right? And they're going to probably get him on the coercement because he basically said, oh, if you don't this, I'll kill you. They're going to use that for the coercement. If you don't do this, I'll kill you. I'll throw you in the East River. What the hell, man? What the hell's this thing acting up? It could be. It really depends. It's hearsay, yes, because but these are eyewitnesses, right? These are eyewitnesses going up against the prosecution. So it's all circumstantial. It all matters whether the jury believes the witness or not. That's the whole thing. If they believe the witness and the defense doesn't poke enough holes in the story of the prosecution, then they're going to probably side with the prosecution. Now, this is why I say it's important For Diddy to have some people come up and say, nah, that didn't happen. Now, Diddy can go and get Harv Pierre or one of his people and say, that didn't happen. And they're convincing. Then you said, okay, now what? So, Mimi, what they're gonna say is, oh, it was so long ago. Like, how are we going? They showed proof of Kid Cudi's car, right? They didn't show proof of who did it, but they do have DNA for a woman or whatever. They're gonna see. We're gonna see what comes of that. We're gonna see what comes of the DNA, the woman DNA. But as far as everything else goes, they're gonna say, "Oh, it was so long ago," and there wasn't no video then. And yeah, well, I think it sucks. Diddy isn't helping himself by having these people feel so easy that it's so easy to turn on you. You didn't make it easy. You didn't make it hard for people to turn on you. You should have had that shit situated. You treat your people better, then they won't turn on you later on in life. So it looks like that's what's going to happen. It looks like because they know they don't really have a strong case. They know Cassie kept going back. So because they don't have a strong case, they're going to come up with a bunch of little things and try to tie it together. Well, Lively, again, I could just say this. He wasn't mean to me. Only thing I could do is speak for how he was with me. Now, again, I didn't spend a whole lot of time around him. You know, again, he paid us to do 5 parties, and that was for more like business. You know, during those 5 parties, he probably didn't say 10 words to us, right? He probably didn't say 10 words to us during those parties. So I never really got a chance to know him very well. But all I could do is say, I didn't have any problems with him during business. And that's because I'm not going to put myself in that position. And a lot of this coercion stuff comes from you putting yourself in that position. The Cash App is $Heaven Hollywood. If y'all want to support the stream, make sure y'all like and share the stream. Thumbs up, please, coming in the room. I was talking about in reference to them turning on him, how easy it was because he was mean, right? And I think, and I don't even think Lively. I don't think it's because he was mean. I just think it was because of the way he treated people. I mean, because most people he has an infectious personality, right? But it's just his girlfriends, and if he's in a relationship with somebody, that didn't seem to go very well, right? That didn't seem to go very well. But some of this testimony with Capricorn Clark was very, very damaging to the defense. Very damaging. And because to me, he did not have the right person up there doing cross. Like when you have something like this come out, you got to make sure that you got the right person for the cross, not just the most available person. You have to make sure that you got a cross-examination coming up that could shake the room back in your favor. Right? Some of the things that Capricorn Clark said, and I can't lie, and I'm rocking with Diddy, but some of these things Capricorn Clark said was so damaging. Right? So let's see here. And then Capricorn Clark's gonna sit up there after she done pretty much sent Diddy to prison, gonna sit up there crying. What are you sit there crying for? What are you crying for? Teeny Garrigo spoke after the I think if they could do that over, they'd have Teeny Garrigos doing the cross-examination. They got too many people in here, they feel as though they got to all do something. They don't all got to do something, bruh. They don't all got to do something. Oh, I learned a lot from Mr. Combs, almost crying. I don't want to hear it, Capricorn. I don't want to hear it because you could have said, I don't recall. I don't recall. I'm sorry, I don't recall. She could have, I don't recall the whole entire testimony. I don't recall. I don't recall. I was making 65,000 a year for Combs, then 90 at Jive. Why'd you come back to Combs? I had gotten 2 records. R. Kelly for Mr. Combs said he was impressed, asked me to come back for Sean John for women. So they were doing so bad, but then they came back and worked for him again. That's my problem right there. They said, you called him Chalk, short for chocolate. I did. You started with Def Jam. I don't go back that far. I Run DMC. I don't go back that far. I'm more Foxy Brown, Redline. I know, shout out to Redline. I knew Redline Records. Jay-Z. Agnes Fuller said, so how did you come to work with Mr. Combs? Well, 60K, you got to remember what times we were living in, Jessica. 60K and you get to travel the world. All your flights are free. You know what I'm saying? It's 60K, but then it's perks. Right? It was 2022. He said, so, but you were told you couldn't be given a job in the middle of an investigation. I don't remember that. It was 2022. I met Jeanette, then Mr. Combs in 2001. I was a World Trade Center thing. Then I met Mr. Combs. Agnafilo, he wasn't doing drugs then, right? He did ecstasy in Daddy's house, but it got worse. I say the same thing, Mimi, but you know they're gonna let it be relevant. These people want to take Diddy down bad, so they're gonna make it. They're gonna let everything that the government do, they're gonna let stick. And then only some of the things that Diddy does, they're gonna let stick. So they're gonna make it like even as far as lyrics go. I mean, even not lyrics, even as far as I lost my train of thought. But yeah, this is crazy, man. Crazy. Jessica thinks it's going to be a mistrial. I hope, like I said, man, that's my era. I want Diddy to get off. But he's not making it easy. He's not making it easy. You know, all of the beating, the thing with the beatings, that's what's getting the people. You know, when she sit back and say, oh, he was kicking her and kicking her and kicking her. Now that everybody has seen the hotel footage, now they're gonna have that in their head. Kicking her, kicking her, kicking her, kicking her. And they're gonna say that probably happened because we already saw him kicking her. So that probably did happen. That's what they're gonna say. Right? That's what they're gonna say. But again, the whole Lauren London thing is starting to play out. I don't know whether she'll be mentioned again. Probably will be. But I see she was trying not to go there with Lauren London, but she mentioned her, and Whack 100 has been mentioning her all week. Yeah, well, they're not making it easier. He's not making it easier either, Mimi. That's my thing. You're not making it easy by number one, picking picking the wrong lawyer. Like, you got to at least give yourself a chance. And so far, Agnafilio, or I like to call him Agnafulio, he has not made, he had showed me that he should not be doing the cross-examination. You know what I'm saying? Women need to be crossed by women. And then Capricorn Clark, I don't know whether she considers herself black, but she tried to say, oh yeah, I guess she considers herself black. And she said, oh yeah, he broke the seal and opened up doors for black people. He really was the one who broke the seal for black people to come in as young entrepreneurs, whatever. Oh, it's difficult. It ain't difficult. It ain't difficult. The bottom line is a lot of things that I've seen with Diddy. Listen, one time I got into it with a supervisor when I was working a regular job. I got into it with a supervisor. I didn't like the stuff he was doing. Then one day I just blew up and I was like, yo, I don't like this. I don't like the way y'all do the giveaways. I don't like this. You favoritism, blah, 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 blah. We got into it. I left. Right? I didn't go back to the job. The same person still working there. You think I was going to go back and work for them again? I knew nothing would change. The same thing. Run DMC weren't moguls, though. Run DMC did it as far as music. They crossed over. But Diddy was the first huge black mogul in hip hop to cross over into entrepreneurship and stuff like that. Remember, he broke the seal because he was really the first one up near that billionaire status. And he started way back when. So Run DMC, yeah, they did it as far as rap artists go, as far as crossing over. But when it come to moguls, that's Puffy. Now, Jay is the richest, but Puffy was sitting at the table before Jay. Puffy was sitting at the table before Jay. Jay just been able to maintain that table. But Puffy was the first one at the table. That's a fact. That's a fact. Not even Russell Simmons, right? Not even Russell Simmons had the reach that Puffy had. Because remember, Puffy had the liquor, even though it wasn't his liquor. But he was the face, he was the branding face of Ciroc for the hood, for the nightclubs, everywhere. You got to the club in the city, Diddy's face was everywhere with Ciroc, everywhere. And from about that run he had with Ciroc from about 2007 to around 2014, it was a hell of a run. And I just think it sucks that people that were involved in it, they could just simply say, okay, I'll tell on Diddy. I'll tell on Diddy, just keep me out of it. But I tell you, this generation loves snitching, boy. They love snitching and they love snitches. What Jay-Z say? I'm from the era where niggas don't snitch. You from the era where snitching is the shit. I respect the one. Y'all respect the nigga who got shot. I respect the shooter. So, all right, so Troy, so you're going to tell me you don't consider Diddy a mogul? Forget about other people. You don't consider Diddy a mogul? Heavy D didn't teach Puff nothing. Heavy D didn't teach Puff nothing. Heavy D was a rapper. Heavy D didn't teach Puff nothing. By the time Heavy D took over Uptown, Puff was already gone. Heavy D didn't teach Puffy anything. Andre Harrell taught Puff, not Heavy D. Heavy D took over Uptown once Puffy was already gone. Andre Harrell taught Puffy. Clive Davis taught Andre Harrell. If anything, Puppy taught Heavy D. Over Def Ham. Heavy D never had control over Def Jam, sir. What are you talking about? Heavy D never had control over Def Jam, sir. I don't have to research because I was there. I don't have to research. That's my era. I don't have to research. He was Andre Harrell's intern. He wasn't Heavy D's intern. He was Andre Harrell's intern. And then when he got fired from Uptown, he got Bad Boy. So when did Heavy D teach Diddy? Where you got that from? Jaguar, right? You must have got that from Jaguar, right? The drugs is only for to sell drugs with the intent to distribute drugs. That's not a part of the charge if you because you're a drug addict. That's not a part of RICO charge. You're not gonna hit with a RICO because you do drugs. You have to prove that you're selling drugs or soliciting drugs or purchasing illegal drugs. The fact that you have drugs already, that's nothing. They can't do anything with that. They got to prove, oh, that you got, and you had people getting drugs for you, covering up the fact that you were purchasing illegal drugs or selling them, one or the other, or trafficking them. But just because you took drugs, you can't be no RICO. Everybody would be in a RICO if that was the case. Make sure you hit the like button. Come through, hit the thumbs up. So I'm still waiting to hear from Mia and still waiting to hear from Jane. I believe Mia is Christina. If Mia ain't Christina, then Mia is a chef. But I think Mia's Christina. I believe Jane is Daphne Joy. My only other choice would have been Miami, but I don't think Jane is Miami. I don't think Miami's testifying at all. I think Jane is Daphne Joy. Huh? So At this point, if I'm Puffy, but the first thing is, and Reese will testify this. The moment he got the Cassie lawsuit, and then 2 came right behind it, I said, get out of town. Get out of town now. Because by the time the raid happened, he couldn't leave town no more. So a lot of people said, oh, well, as soon as he saw the raid, he still left. He couldn't. They were like, don't leave town. When they raided him, they pretty much said you got an eye on him. You can't leave town. But the moment you saw a lawsuit from Cassie and then 2 more lawsuits came right behind it, you should have got on your Russell Simmons and got the hell out of Dodge. But your pride wouldn't let you leave. See? Russell Simmons didn't care about no pride. He said, I'm getting up out of here and I'm going to go over Bali and sit crisscross applesauce and do yoga for the rest of my life. And everybody can laugh at Russell and say, oh, yeah, Russell ran. Uncle Russ ain't going to jail. He ain't going to jail. And he still got his money. Whatever he got left. He should have took his ass up out of there. Should have left, dog. Now, your ass out. Because your ego would not allow you to pay Cassie at first. You got to know that she got a husband in her ear. See, he was thinking it was going to be the same old Cassie. Oh, she ain't going to do nothing. You got to remember, they were still talking up into DMs until 2022. They were still conversating. That's why she was able to ask him for the $30 million. And asked him, did he read the book? She asked Christina, did he read the book? First she said, say no, no, no. Then finally she said, yeah, he read it. He didn't take it serious. But Cassie knew those statute of limitations were coming up, so she had to do something. Oh, so you think it's a joke? He offered her around 8 to 10 million. She said no. And here we are. Why should these countries innocent? Because, why should these countries innocent? Because those lawsuits were coming. That's why. So if you're innocent or not, when those lawsuits start coming, Michael Jackson was innocent. He settled. He tried to settle. He tried to settle. Didn't work. So everybody said, oh, why would he settle if he's innocent? Michael Jackson settled. Look what just happened with Michael Jackson. Just turned out he was innocent of all charges. But everybody said the same thing. Oh, if he was innocent, he wouldn't settle. That's not the way it goes. But yeah, he's guilty of sex. He's guilty of domestic violence. He's guilty of domestic violence. We don't know whether he's guilty of kidnapping. That's hearsay. We know what Capricorn Clark said, but we don't got no video of him kidnapping Capricorn Clark. Hell, when you're motivated by money, you say anything. They could pay me right now. They could say, "Oh, I'll offer you $1 million if you go up and say such and such and such." So because they're saying it now means nothing. They're motivated by money. And people that are motivated by money will do anything and say anything. So because he didn't pay her when she first asked for it, and he got 30 million, now he's gonna be replaying that move over and over again in his head. Because if he just had to pay her right there, she wouldn't have filed the lawsuit. And we wouldn't be here right now. Right? But he didn't, so now he's got a little problem on his hands. Me personally, I think it's over. I think the Capricorn Clark testimony is going to be that second charge that they need, that second check to the RICO box. I think they're going to probably say guilty of kidnapping because of Capricorn's word. And if they believe Capricorn, if they say, yes, she's definitely a believable witness, then they're going to believe what she said about being kidnapped. That's the way it goes in court. Even if it's circumstantial, even if, okay, we weren't there, but they're going to believe who's believable. You know what I mean? They're going to believe who's believable. And if they're sitting up there watching her in court thinking that she's believable, then that's the way they're going to go. They're going to say, yeah, we weren't there and it was circumstantial, and it's hearsay, but she said he was kicking Cassie, and look at the video. Wasn't he kicking Cassie in the video? He's probably kicking her here too. Right? That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. I don't know, Jessica. We have to see. Like I said, man, they need to have somebody. And this is where good lawyers come into play. You should have been matching up. Not your lawyers with their lawyers. You should be matching up your lawyer to their witness. And so far, I've only seen it one time. But Nicole Westmoreland has been the most effective lawyer on his cross. He should have known that Agnifilio's trash. He's not have been able to do anything for Puff since Puff got locked up. Agnifilio at this point is just accepting money. He's garbage. I know whatever witnesses he has, but he's gonna have to. Mimi, the only chance he got, he's got to have witnesses that come up and totally say that Capricorn was making that story up. But her and Kid Cudi almost have matching stories. So now Diddy's gonna have to have somebody to come up there and be like, that ain't what happened. What happened was this, that, and the other. Now, that's not gonna be easy. That won't be easy, my friend. I'm not saying it's impossible, but after the Capricorn testimony, it's gonna be real hard to come out of here for him with a victory. It's gonna be hard. They need like a home run. Like they need to swing for the fence and something happen. You know what I mean? They're trying to get a couple of these things thrown out. Trying to get a couple of testimonies tossed. So we'll see what happens. Right, D-Rock said he ain't seen none of that. The same thing with Kalina. That's why they're not gonna call her. Remember Dawn Richard said that her and the other girl from Dirty Money saw it. Well, the other girl said, I don't know what she talking about. I ain't seen none of that. So that's why they're not gonna call her. They're gonna be like, nah, we ain't gonna call this bitch. She gonna mess everything up. Right? Dawn Richard, she was the one who was the worst. She was the worst witness for them. She's lucky that they have Christina because Dawn Richard almost single-handedly. Cassie was pretty much a wash. Like, I don't think Cassie did any more damage or helped them anymore. Because her testimony, she pretty much washed out her testimony with all her continued communication at the end. And then even after she was married. So they were saying that a lot of those jurors was shaking their head like looking at her some kind of way. So even though she did good to tell about, she exposed what a freak Diddy is, but he's not on trial for being a freak. She exposed what a freak he is. She exposed what a bad guy he is, but he's not on trial for being a bad guy. He's not on trial for being a freak. Like Capricorn Clark was the most damaging testimony so far. And because Dawn Richard was so inconsistent, she was the worst witness so far for the prosecution. She's on social media. There's a clip of her on social media right now talking about, Puff is my homie for life. He's my homie for life. Everybody's like, this you? Yeah. But the thing that kills me about our people is I follow these other cases. I follow all the cases, right? And then black people always say, it's about the victims. We gotta watch out for the victims. It's about the victims. It's about the victims. But then ain't nobody in the Gonzalez brothers trial. I don't see nobody in there talking about it. Nobody was talking about the Abercrombie and Fitz guy. Nobody talking about it. Nobody cared about Hugh Hefner, all the abuse that he was doing for many years. Nobody cared about it. Nobody cared when their own president of the United States had 37 SA cases. Nobody cared. But everybody cares about victims when it comes to Diddy. Okay. Just say you hate your own people and keep it moving. Like I said in the hashtag, black people hate black people. You'll see black people support Kanye West, a person who hates being black. But y'all will support him. Stupid. Me, I don't give my support or my money to somebody who said slavery is a choice. I don't give my money or attention to someone like that. I had ancestors who were slaves, and trust me, it was not a choice. They had no choice. It was either slavery or death, and some of them died for it. Some of them died trying to get away from it. Right? So, me, I don't sell my people out. Never did, never will. I'm always going to give my people benefit of the doubt. Always. Because they give their people benefit of the doubt. So I'm giving mine benefit of the doubt. So she said in court that she was the one that gave Cassie the burner phone. So she was helping Cassie cheat, smiling in Diddy's face, but helping Cassie cheat with Kid Cudi. But the part out of her testimony that everybody's going to remember is her saying he was kicking her over and over and over. That's the only, trust me when I tell you, that's the only part they're going to remember. And for that, it don't look good. If you were just doing free calls and like there was no violence involved, like if you weren't seen hitting her or whatever the case may be, you would probably get out of this. But because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself, Puff, that's going to be the main issue. I'm telling you. Doing way too much. Doing way too much. And I understand people got toxic relationships and this, that, and the third, but doing way too much. And it's going to end up biting them. It's going to end up biting them. But people was asking me, oh, do I feel sorry for Cassie? No. I have empathy for real victims. I have sympathy for real victims. I don't have empathy or sympathy for people who choose to stay in a situation. I don't have no empathy for her. She got $30 million. She don't need no empathy. I'm sure she'll be just fine. She got 30 million to wipe her tears. Got 30 million reasons to smile. So I'm sure she'll be fine. Yeah, it sounds like Africa sounds a little jealous. I don't know why everybody's so jealous of these celebrities. I don't get it. People like the jealousy I hear about Jay-Z and Beyonce, like on an everyday basis. It's like, dog, like seeking truth and accountability. Cassie got to have that word too, accountability. But like I said, it should be accountability for everybody, not just for black folks. Everybody should have to have accountability, not just Puffy. But you do sound jealous though, low key. Well, high key. And Africa, there's no. I'm the preacher's kid. I know it. I know all the verses. I'm the preacher's kid. So I spent my whole life in church. That ain't gonna really do nothing. That's not gonna impress me because real church folks that really believe in God, they're not in a talking about celebrity gossip, and they're not talking about celebrities, and they're not worried about what Diddy did, like like my aunt and uncle. They're not caring about what Diddy did. Like, you know, so let's stop throwing the Bible in it to try to make it seem as though that's that Jaguar right bullshit. Oh yeah, the Lord said you ain't supposed to be gossiping neither, but y'all doing it. So don't come in here claiming about the Lord and throwing verses around. Just say you don't like Diddy, and then let's just keep it moving. You don't have to pretend that you care so much about because like I just said before, name me one Trump victim. I bet you can name me all the Diddy victims, right? Everybody that's got your president of the United States had 37 SA cases. Why don't you name some of them for me, other than the porn star? So that's how I know that y'all don't care about victims. You only care because you want to see a successful, rich black person who gets you in your feelings. Because that's how black people operate. Get you in your feelings because of they got the money, they got the jewels, they got the bitches, they got the status, and they get you in your feelings because you're black and you're not doing that. Or if a black woman wasn't one of the ones that got picked by Diddy to give gifts to and lace up. They feel some type of way sometimes. Sensitive ass dudes, they get mad that they couldn't pull a Cassie. And they couldn't have Cassie doing stuff for them like she's doing for Diddy. Or they can't pull a Young Miami. So Diddy going down for some weird reason gives them some sort of satisfaction. Right? So what that reason is, I have no idea. I've never been insecure, so I don't know. What's up, Darius? What's up? So Capricorn Clark came on, and like I told y'all, I said, this is going to be the make or break. Because if everybody remembers, the moment he got raided, she came out of no and started talking. I said, she's going to be a problem come time for the court. I'm not going down, but blah, blah, blah. And she started talking right immediately about the devil and this other stuff. But you were like just chilling with him a couple of years ago. So she's going to be the testimony, like I said, the main testimony that's going to hurt. Her testimony is going to be the one to me that does him in. Right? That's going to be the one that does him in. Jigga man, me on me, easy. Mason, Mallory, Anthony, easy. All I need. Armadillo in the 12, couple of ducats. So, we're going to find out whether since Cassie's out of there and Capricorn Clark's out of there, there's no more reason to bring up Lauren London. So, Lauren London is probably sitting there like, could y'all please go home? So my name don't have to come up again. Right? Because Lauren London definitely don't want her name popping up. Mentioned 50 Cent, like, I wouldn't even give him the satisfaction. I wouldn't even give him the satisfaction of mentioning him. So, let's see. I got a couple of videos to do. I'm going to probably go check out Amon so he can he can be entertaining while giving me the rundown. But yeah, it's not over yet, but big day for the prosecution. And I think Diddy's team made a mistake by letting Mark Agnifulio do the cross-examination. I think he's been a horrible lawyer. I think he's a horrible lawyer for Diddy. And everything he's done so far, nothing's been done right. No motions got moved. Nothing got dismissed. He couldn't even get bail. So never should have had Agnifulio doing nothing. I'll be sure. I'll be sure get up there and they will tear his ass up. I'll be sure better stay off that stand. He cannot add anything. If the only thing he'll do is make the case worse. Because Albie Shaw's up there with a bunch of hearsay. Oh, Diddy hurt me from 3,000 miles away. Was he near you? Well, no, but I know he's responsible. He's gonna say, did he put a curse on him? And man, come on, man, stay out of court with that BS. He has no facts, none whatsoever. He has no facts. Wasn't even cool with Kim like that. The friends have already come out and said Albie Shaw wasn't even cool with Kim like that. He saw her one time, 2 months prior to her dying. That was like the first time he seen her in God knows how long. He spoke to her for 1 hour, 2 months before, and he hadn't seen her since. Albie Shaw's a clout chaser. Albie Shaw is a clout chaser. He has no facts whatsoever. And he's the same Albie Shaw that I saw Diddy slap him at Rolanda Watts' party in frickin' 93. He's still the same old pussy ass Albie Shaw that waits till Diddy gets locked up. Now he wants to run off at the mouth. You had plenty of years, bruh. You had plenty of years to approach that man. But you wait till he get locked up and now you want to run off at the mouth. I hope Albie Shaw does come on that stand. That defense will tear his ass apart. The prosecution better not call Albie Shaw. I'm telling you. They better not call Albie Shaw. If Albie Shaw come on that stand, he gonna get lit up. Yeah, Albie Shaw's a deadbeat. Albie Shaw was trying to act like him and Kim Porter had no relationship when she died. None, except they were both the biological parents of Quincy. Albie Shaw cheated on Kim the first month she was pregnant. Albie Shaw did Kim just as dirty as Diddy. That's why it's just not it's not a coincidence that none of Albie Shaw's kids claim him as their father. Like they're like, oh yeah, my dad, Albie Shaw. Like none of them. He's a deadbeat dad. He was too busy being a womanizer growing up. When he got famous, all he wanted to do was smash hoes. That's all Albie Shaw doing. He wasn't thinking about no children. And all those years, Quincy already said it. Now it had nothing, nah, we not cool like that. He's more of a friend. I like him more of a friend to support, like what I'm doing or whatever. But nah, I already told him, Puffy's my dad. So he had ample opportunity to connect with Quincy. But Quincy remembers, like, you walked out. You walked out instead of being a father. You walked out. And then, before Quincy was born, tried to say Quincy wasn't his. Until Quincy came out looking like a spinning image of him, and he couldn't say that no more. But if before Quincy was born, Albie Shaw was telling Kim Porter, that's not his baby. It's Puffy's. Or Dallas. Because she was messing with Dallas Austin. She came up here with Dallas Austin. So that's who she was messing with when she first came to New York. She came up to New York with Dallas Austin. Rest in peace to Kim, but she wasn't no angel either. Kim wasn't no saint either. But most definitely rest in peace to her. Albie Shaw the Debbie. I was again. I told you this in industry stories. And anybody that don't believe me, like I said, I always come with my receipts. If you don't believe me, go look up Rolanda Watts. Rolanda Watts was a news anchor in New York. And you can ask her, she have a birthday party? I believe it was 92 or 93. I'm going to say 93. And Diddy was there, Albie Shore, Kim Porter, Coco from SWV, Lily from SWV, Taj from SWV, Children of the Corn. At that time, that was Murder Mace, Cameron, and Cardan, and they were part of Children of the Corn then. They wasn't solo yet. And Mace was still Murder Mace. They were there. Albie Shore walked in there. Diddy smacked the shit out of Albie Shore. Now, Albie Shore's not no small guy. He's always been scared of Diddy. Back then, Diddy wasn't even the Diddy. Diddy wasn't even a super millionaire back then. He's always been scared of Diddy. So it doesn't surprise me that every time something happened, this dude goes run to about, oh, Diddy did it. How you gonna prove that, sir? What'd he do? Put a voodoo curse on you? You wasn't near him, so he couldn't have food poisoned you. He wasn't near you. So how did he cause you to almost lose your life? With what? You gonna say he put a spiritual curse on you? Prove it. Prove it. He has no proof. He's like Jaguar. If you notice, Jaguar ain't been asked to testify. She done got a Medal of Honor, and she's supposed to be the Diddy whistleblower, right? Why nobody's asked her to testify? Somebody give me an answer. If Jaguar Wright is supposed to be the Diddy whistleblower, can someone answer me why nobody has suggested she get on the stand? What's up? What's up, Dawn Smolderman? So, y'all hit up the super chat. Hit up the Cash App is $Heaven Hollywood if you want to support. If their testimony was valid, this is a case where somebody who swears she's so valid, the prosecution would definitely want her on the stand. Oh, tell us all those things that happened with Diddy. But she knows she's gonna be under oath. She knows she'll be under oath. And she just can't get up there and lie like normal. You see what I'm saying? See the people he's pardoning? So if Diddy, like I told Diddy, you got the right president. He has no integrity. All he cares about is money. I told Diddy before, the thing I would have been doing, once I saw this thing was going to trial, I would have told my lawyers, yo, go call Trump. The $50 million I was going to offer for the bail, tell him I'll give him $50 million for a pardon. You think that nigga ain't gonna do it? Of course he will. Of course he will. So that's what he better been trying. Like, yo, I'm gonna part whatever amount of millions I gotta part. And then if I get evicted, like 2-3 months later, let him come with the pardon. That's what I would do. I'm serious. I'm serious. You offer that nigga money, he gonna do it. He loved money way more than integrity. He could care less about integrity. Look at how he acts. If I was him, I'd have a woman too. I'd have a woman go to him. Teeny Garagos, or whatever your name is, go to Trump and be like, yeah, My client got something for you. I'd be like, I was offering 50 million to get on bail. Tell him I'll give him the 50 mil. Yep. You gotta pay Trump money. Trump, and he won't say nothing either. He won't say nothing. He'll just take that money and then pardon him. I'm telling you. You gotta do it, man. It's life or death. You gotta play dirty. Gotta play dirty. Trump loves money. What does Trump love more than winning? Money. Tell him I'll give you 50 million. I was gonna give him 50 million and you know what I mean? I'll give you 50 million for the pardon. 25 million up front. 25 million once I'm out. Trump would be saying, yeah, P. Diddy, I think he's in jail too long. You know, don't you think that? Don't you think he's in jail a little too long? I think he's in jail too long. I think that's way too long for what he was doing. He fighting with his girlfriend. Everybody fights with their girlfriend. In jail well too long, way too long. We have to get Puff Daddy out of there. Oh my God. I mean, he letting out all these people. Well, you can. I don't think you can get pardoned until you're convicted. Dawn. I don't think. I don't think he can go now and say pardon me because he hasn't been convicted. He's just on trial. But I think once he gets convicted, I think he can then ask for a pardon. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you can get a pardon just locked up in a holding cell because I haven't been convicted yet. But he can be in communications with him, and be like, look, because if he gives him a pardon in a holding cell, that's gonna really look suspicious. That's gonna really look suspicious. People gonna be like, that's very suspicious. Writing on the wall. That's very suspicious. Diddy about to fall. No, Diddy made that call. Sexy 60, what up? Right, but so that's why he need to be putting the call in early. Don't he need to be like, look, I know I'm not convicted yet, Playboy. You know he calls Trump Playboy too. You know I'm not convicted yet, Playboy, but it don't look good. If you believe in things you don't understand and you suffer, superstition ain't the way. Hey, hey. All right, y'all. All the Diddy fans, stay up there. Internet. This was not a good day today. Not a good day today, y'all. But I'ma still keep praying for Diddy. I'ma keep rhyming Diddy. Hopefully Diddy come out of this, man. If you do, Diddy, you better not ever date another white chick again. Go back to Young Miami and be like, yo, I'ma chill. I'm not messing with no more girls the rest of my life. Says Young Miami. You know what I mean? Go find you a black chick, go sit your ass down somewhere. All right? Love y'all. Send your boy a cash app. Y'all, why don't y'all ever send me cash apps, man? How come y'all never support your boy? Super chats there as well. I'll catch y'all on the next one.